Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about our first physical science class. I understand that many of you were unable to be in class today because of technical issues with Zoom or with your computer. And I apologize that you weren't able to be here. So what I'm going to do through this video is catch you up with anything that you might have missed during today's class. So we're going to start off by talking about attendance. We're going to go on and talk about what physical science is, what it's going to be like to learn in this virtual environment, and how it's going to be different from what you might have experienced in March, April, and May of this year. I'm going to go through my Schoology page with you. There's going to be a getting to know you activity and a video that I'm going to post and I'll show you. I'm going to give you some information about the textbook and picking up the textbook. We're going to have some options for submitting class assignments, and then we're going to finish up with a brief homework assignment, which is really just another activity that's going to help me get some additional information about it. So let's start off with attendance. So my goal for this year is to make, and hopefully it's just a few weeks and not the whole year, is to make these virtual lessons as close to what you would see in class as possible. So we will meet for every class period. We'll have assignments just like we did in class. We'll work in groups. We'll do lab activities. It'll all be in this virtual environment, but I'm going to try and replicate what we are missing out by being out of the building as much as I possibly can. So for your part, it says I plan to hold live sessions for each class meeting. Sometimes we'll be together for the entire block period, but sometimes we'll have assignments to complete during the block period and might be in and out of synchronous sessions. I would really appreciate it if you could have your camera on. And for this, what I'm looking for is to build a connection with you. So unlike March, April, May, and June, your teacher knew you as a student last year because they taught you from September to March, but I don't know you yet. So it would really help us get to know each other if we could see each other as we were interacting with each other. And then finally, if you have to miss class for any reason, if something comes up and you miss class, please feel free to reach out either by email, through a message in Schoology, or through clicking on a link that I'm going to show you, which allows you to set up a one-to-one extra help video conference. So all of those are ways that you can reach out to me if you miss class. Some of you have done that already, so thank you to those of you that sent me a Schoology message or sent me an email letting me know that you were going to be absent today. Okay, on to some important Zoom information. If you are in a quiet space in your home and you would like to unmute yourself for the entire class period, you're free to do that. If you're in a space that tends to get a little noisy and you want to keep yourself muted, that's fine too. Know that you can just hold down the space bar to unmute yourself. So if you want to raise your hand or volunteer an answer, just hold down the space bar, keep it held down, say your answer, and then you can let go of the space bar. And then finally, in terms of getting into the class, you have to show your name so that way I can admit you from the waiting room. So that's just a security procedure that's in place. So that way no one that's not supposed to be in the meeting can jump into the meeting. You can use a reaction button at the bottom. So either a hand wave or clap or a thumbs up. So often I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to ask the entire class, does everyone understand what's going on? So a quick thumbs up lets me know that you know what's going on and that we can move forward. Some more important Zoom information. So the other thing that you can do is you could raise your hand in Zoom. So if you are unsure about what's going on and you want to raise your hand to ask a question, you would click on the participants option near the bottom of the screen. Then you're going to select the option, your option for more, and then you'll see a spot that says raise your hand. The good part about raising your hand is it stays up. And it gives me on my screen a notification that says, oh, Kevin raised his hand, or Kevin has a question and is raising his hand. So it's just another way for you to interact with me and let me know that you have something that you're uncertain of. The other part that I want to say is that you can also type your question into the chat feature. So as I'm conducting these lessons, I have my computer screen open on the side here. I can see all of your images and I can see anything that comes up in the chat. So as I'm teaching, it's just another way for us to interact with each other. The last part that I'm going to talk about in terms of Zoom are called breakout rooms. So imagine breakout rooms like a desk. So don't think of it like your bedroom or a classroom. Think of it just like your desk. So we're going to use these breakout rooms in two different ways. Either individually, so by yourself, so it's like sitting at your desk and doing an assignment by yourself, or as a group. So I could put 3 or 4 of you into a breakout room. That's like moving 4 desks together in class and having you work together as a group. So our class periods are 80 minutes in length. I'm going to break up those 80 minutes into smaller segments. So we're going to do multiple activities during that time. So the first 10 minutes, there's going to be an introduction. That'll also be the time when I take attendance for the class and allow you into the room. There'll be a time for presenting new information, what I'm teaching you for that day. There'll be some time for you to practice that. And then we might have some type of activity after that where we practice what we just learned. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the physical science page on Schoology. So you'll notice the top part here says introductory course materials. That's what we went over in class today. So I'm going to click on that link. And clicking on that link brings up all of these different materials, including the first one, which are the course expectations. So if I click on this, this is probably something similar to what you did in all of your classes today. It's normally what we do on the first days of school, go over what is expected of you in the course. I'm going to let you read through most of this on your own, but a couple of things that I want to point out to you here. So the first one, this is the breakdown for the grades. So your grade is going to have 3 components: class participation and homework. So try and raise your hand as much as possible. Try and volunteer answers as much as possible. The second component will be experiments and simulations. And the third component are going to be tests and quizzes. So it'll be 30%, 30%, and then 40% for tests and quizzes. The only materials that you need, at least for now, are a working computer with an internet connection. So hopefully we can get everyone to get that as soon as possible. And it talks a little bit about homework in here, talks a little bit about assessments, some behavioral expectations. So the only expectation I have of you in terms of behavior is that you come to each class ready to learn. So just like many of you, most of you did today. And then finally, the makeup policy, in case you are absent, what you should do in order to make up any work that you might have missed. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go back. Our next slide is information about the textbook. So either on Tuesday, September 1st, or Wednesday, September 2nd, you're going to be coming into Henderson to pick up your textbook. So that information can be found on the Henderson website, what day you're supposed to come in. So this is what your textbook looks like. We don't have an online version of the textbook, so instead you're going to pick up a paper copy of it, a hard copy of it, and there's a schedule that was sent out by Dr. Sherlock in terms of when you should get that. The textbook is a great resource if you need additional information. So practice problems, if you want to read more information about what we're learning, you can go find that in the textbook. The next part is what we're going to use in order to submit our assignments. So we have a couple of different ways that we can do this. So one of the ways is to write out your assignment on a piece of paper and then use your phone to convert it into a PDF and submit that through Schoology. I'm going to make a video that's going to show you how to do exactly that. The other option is, if you would like and you are able to, you can also print out an assignment. Again, use your phone to take a picture of it, convert it to a PDF, and then send it to Schoology. The other option that you have is some of the documents that I'll give you, you can type directly on them, save them with a new file name and submit them to Schoology, or type directly on them like we did in our Getting to Know You activity and submit it directly to Schoology that way. Finally, I'm going to finish up with this one last homework assignment, and that is for you to complete the student information form. It can be found in the introductory folder on Schoology below some of the other things that we spoke about. I enjoyed having you guys in class. Thank you to those of you who missed class for watching this video. Hopefully, I will see all of you back in class at the next live session. So if you miss class for whatever reason, make sure that the next time class rolls around, you try and join the live section. All right, thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.